get to know to how the people react only when you tend to see their faces. Yeah, that is so much better. Thank you so much. All right. To tell you a bit about myself, I am Dr. Aishwarya Raina Sharma. I belong to Dehradun, born and brought up in Dehradun from Kashmir, and did my schooling from Dehradun, did my college from Delhi University, then did my master's from JNU and my PhD from Jamia Islamia. I have had the opportunity to work in research-based organizations, government research-based organization, taught students in Jamia, Amity University, and then landed in DPS Puram. So all these students, they are from DPS RKP, and that is how we got connected. Yes, sociology is my passion. I did my master's in sociology. I did my graduation in English honors and then did my master's in sociology. At that point of time, the only reason why I took up sociology was because I wanted to prepare for civil services. And as my seniors told me in JNU that sociology is a very scoring subject. So that is the reason why I picked up sociology. Little to know that I fell in love with the subject. And over a period of time, I realized that actually more than what I have worked upon the subject, that complete subject as sociology has worked on me, on my persona. It is a very important subject in society, children. I am rather amazed and surprised that it's only in India that sociology is not taught in all the schools. You go outside India and you will see that it's a mandatory subject for schools as well as colleges. So one, I want to know that how many of you have studied sociology anytime in your life? We'll make this session more interactive. So it's not me just speaking and you just listening to me, okay? It's me also learning a lot from you all. So how many of you have studied sociology as a subject?
I can say I have studied in PPE, Philosophy, Politics and Economics, which is a part of sociology itself. So yeah.
Okay. And so Arijit, you also said that you studied sociology for UPSC, right?
Yes, very briefly. First of all, good afternoon. Yes, I studied sociology very briefly for UPSC exams, though the results are not something that I could share, but yes, as in I briefly had a tryst with sociology.
Okay.
Did not go into the depths.
That's absolutely fine. So now that you said this word, results did not come, let me share a little bit of incident with you all. See, sociology is not only about books, sociology is about learning, everyday process of learning. And as I understand where you are going to teach people, you need to enhance your learning with getting a lot of experiences from people around you so that you are enriched with different experiences because it develops your understanding. One, when we study for civil services, as you must have not got to know that even I did not clear. That's the reason why I'm here teaching in DPS Sharjah. But the point is that, the education that you, or the material, the studies that you do, even if you do not clear certain exams, that study stays with you forever and makes you a person what you are. So point is not this whether I cleared my civil services or no, or I could make it to my UPSC or no. Point is what I learned, it stays with me so that I can give it forth. Now, most importantly, children, sociology is a study of society. Okay? Society comprises of human beings. And to add on, human beings coming from different societies, different understandings, different families, different caste groups, which means that they all have different socializations. As a matter of fact, all of us who are here, we belong to different families. We've seen different experiences which have shaped us to what we are today. Our understanding of our life and society is based on what we have gone through in life. Okay? Similarly, for you all as well, your understanding of life is from the vision or from the socialization that you've had in your life. Sociology is about having a paradigm shift from that. Say, for example, I'm sure you all have heard about ethnocentrism, wherein I feel that my culture, my religion is the best. Shifting from there to cosmopolitanism, which means that I start accepting people who are maybe not from my culture also as a part of society. How would I do that? Having a paradigm shift. So, for example, if I have this box in hand, all right, now you all can see a box, it's a digital time, so you all can see only this. But just imagine if we are sitting in a circle, okay, and this is the box in my hand. I can see this box from this perspective, which is this, and I feel that this is the reality. Somebody, Arijit, may be sitting on the right side and must be seeing this part of the box and thinks that this is the reality. Nem must be sitting on this side of the classroom and must be thinking that this is the reality, right? Somebody who's sitting right under my nose would be seeing this area and would be understanding that this is the reality. And seeing this reality, which is actually from all the ends, from our perspectives, we start thinking that this is life and this is the only thing that exists. Sociology tells us to have a paradigm shift. This is about life. Now, if I have seen life circumstances from this perspective, I start believing that this is only life and this is the reality. Most of us, most of human beings in this society, children, why do they have ego problems? Why do they have relationship problems? Because we start thinking whatever paradigm I am seeing things from is the reality. Sociology asks us to have a shift. Openness to have that shift, that paradigm shift in the reality. And over a period of time, understanding the whole social issue and then giving an understanding from an unbiased perspective. This is the responsibility of a sociologist, not just a sociologist, even a human being. That is precisely the reason why sociology is taught in all the countries, in schools and universities. So that at that tender age, when you are open to point of views, when you're open to be flexible to change, you get that understanding and you start exploring things from that angle. So first and foremost, now you as teachers will be going to the field. We call it field, right? To the field where you will be teaching them a subject, which is, say, sociology or any subject as a matter of fact. This understanding of paradigm shift will transform your life. Most of you, I'm sure, are not from rural areas. So the pedagogy is not the teacher and the taught. The pedagogy is interactive learning. So it's not you who is only teaching them. They will be also teaching you. If you do not have this understanding of a paradigm shift to be open to teaching or to be open to learning at the same point of time when you're teaching, you will never be able to touch them. You will never be able to touch their lives or understand where they are coming from. Any questions, most welcome. Please ask me questions if you're not understanding so that we can have a discussion over it. Just don't listen. I'm not in a habit of only people listening to me. Do question, okay? So the point is, guys, when you have that paradigm shift, when you have that nature, innate nature to accept that, okay, whatever I'm saying is not a reality. Reality can be seen from different perspectives. People can be from different socializations, from different understandings. Yet, we have to go beyond that and understand them. You know, when I was in JNU, So when I cleared my JNU entrance and we were there, just 65 of us, so our professors always used to tell us that out of the whole of Asia, you are those 65 who have been chosen to do sociology. So he always used to tell us that, remember, you are in a subject wherein you all will agree to disagree. We all sitting over here can agree to disagree on every topic, you name it. I can have my different perspective, my own understanding. We all agree to disagree. But we leave that in the classroom and sit at Ganga Dhaba and have evening chai together with samosa. You know what does that mean? That means we can have different perspectives on different topics in life, but we do not take it personal. You can be my bestie, and still we can be at loggerheads on each and everything which comes in life, or any kind of thing which we are talking about. That is the personality that a teacher should have. Teacher equivalent to responsibility. Very important, guys. If you have taken up this voluntary work, or even if you have taken up as a profession, understand, teaching profession is not an MNC. Teaching profession is teacher equivalent to responsibility. And what lesser example can I give you during COVID time, sweethearts, when I think the only two people who have worked like crazy are doctors and teachers. Like crazy. I'm telling you, there have been times when we have worked till 4 o'clock in the morning to get to understand the digital Microsoft and Teams and all of that, and how to get our work done on the Microsoft Teams so that we can make the subject easy for the children. We could have easily warded off, we're going to talk and that's over. So when you are here to teach, you have to understand your name equivalent to responsibility. Okay. Point number 2, paradigm we've spoken about. Socialization we've spoken about. We all have different socializations. We can have different perspectives. So from now on, now see, when I had to give a session only for an hour over here, my homework started 2 days back. While eating, while bathing, while sleeping, while on bed, everywhere. What do I have to talk about? It's not about curriculum. What about sociology? You are going to teach them about life. At the same point of time, learn about life from them. They are in a most difficult scenario of life, and they perhaps have seen life more closely than you. Okay? So don't ever feel that you are at giving end and they are at receiving end. You have to go with the perspective that you also have to learn a lot, come down to their level. You know, I have to share an incident with you. When I was doing English honors from Daulat Ram College, Delhi University, and also JNU. I mean, I had loveliest of professors, by the way, but there were times when our professors used to come, give a lecture, and it used to go like whoosh, whoosh. I understood nothing. And they gave the best of lectures. They've been going all over the world to give their lectures. However, sitting in that class for that 1 hour, I understood nothing. So initially I thought that perhaps my mind is not that open. Maybe I was sleeping. Then, with that hesitation, started asking the classmates, did you understand what he said? Did you actually understand what she meant? And they said, no, yeah, who understands? It's okay. I'm going to read the book. That was the time when I realized. Hindi mein baat kar sakte or everybody knows in English only? Can we talk in Hindi in time? Teeny weeny bit here and there? Or you do not understand?
International audience, so
all right.
Yes, you can talk in Hindi.
So that was the time I realized, भैया टीचर बनना है तो उसी के लेवल पे जाना होगा. Quote unquote, you are not a successful teacher with the I am a doctor, I'm a PhD, I have written articles. Sorry, doesn't matter to me if I'm a student of yours. That is what you've done for your life. You have to come down to my level and then teach your subject. That is your success. So you all also, guys, when you go to teach those students in rural areas, you do not have to teach anything from your level. Oh yeah, I come from a city, over there McDonald's comes. McDonald's, we've heard about it. Yeah, because thanks to mass media. But how's it? Oh, you don't know what is McDonald's? Or you don't know? They don't. For everything, you have to come down to their level. It's just a example, bizarre example that I've given you right now. Anything. You have to come down to their level to make them understand. Do you know life is this there? Now about creativity, I got this question that, ma'am, you have to tell them about creativity. Can somebody tell me how can we make any individual creative? One is innate by birth, but as a teacher, how can you put that seed of creativity in a child?
Yes, I would love to respond to the question.
Sorry?
Hello.
Yes?
Okay. G Sagibenimo is my name from Liberia. And with regard with the question you asked, I would love to respond to that.
Please, please.
What we are thinking that we can. Are you getting me?
I'm not understanding.
Jay, there's a
Are
lot
you
of
hearing me?
background. Jay, there's a lot of background noise. Can you please type your answer in the comment section?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, thank you. I think
Yes,
Len was also speaking.
anybody else who wants to answer to this question?
Arijit
Hi,
and
Arijit
Asma
here.
explained by asking questions and giving the autonomy. Yeah, Arijit, go ahead.
You go ahead. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you. Go ahead. Yeah. So, what I think is that one way to enhance creativity or to encourage kids to be creative is to let them question everything, or let them first, instead of teaching them, as in the pedagogical tools that we have currently these days in schools, is that a teacher comes to the classroom, there is one-way communication, the students just note everything down. Uh, the teacher, at least during my time, I don't know what we've seen now, but during my time, the teacher hardly used to ask, okay, did you do any pre-reading? What did you understand out of it? No, they just used to come to the class. They just used to tell whatever we were supposed to note down in our notebooks, and that was done. I think one way to enhance creativity is to let students read the things by themselves first, try to understand what they have understood from the text, and then question the teachers. Rather than just taking down notes, question the teachers about each and everything that they have read and understood, and then the teacher can respond to their queries. I think that way the imagination of students can be enhanced much better. Just my thought.
Good. Nem, you said kindle their curiosity, give them some space and time, and let them respond. Oh, by the way, have you all heard about the storytelling? New aspects of storytelling coming up these days. I'm sure you must have heard. You all must have heard about storytelling. Storytelling is coming as a big profession, isn't it so? Why?
Ma'am, because I think it helps a student to think beyond what the person is reading in the textbooks and hence imagine other things also.
Creative. Yes, imagination goes beyond paradigms. So, for example, if I have to tell you something, right? Hi guys, how are you? Yeah, sociology is a subject which has paradigms, and you have to be very creative, and you have to go down to the level of the students. You know what? Sociology is all about going down to the levels, to having different paradigms, to understanding. I'm going to put an example over here of my life. What am I doing? I am ensuring that you all weave an imagination while you're talking to me. Yes or no? Yes. So when I'm weaving that imagination for you all, while I'm talking to you all, what is happening? Along with what you're listening to me, you're also imagining to what all incidents I'm telling you, plus the way I'm telling you. So what is happening? Wow, yes, teacher means responsibility. So the parallel thought process, if I am not wrong, please correct me if I am, is going, what all can I work on myself? Yes or no? Did it go or no? Truthfully, please. Yes, human brains process stories. Yes. So what happens is when you go to their level and you tell them, you know what? This is what happens in the urban areas. You know, there are two different sort of areas, rural and urban. Rural work with organic solidarity. What is organic solidarity? Now, a teacher says organic solidarity as per said by Durkheim in sociology. What will I understand? But when you say, okay, what kind of a relationship you are with over here? Love, bonding, community feeling. You know, it's different over there. We have mechanical solidarity. We are dependent on each other. But because of capitalism, what is capitalism? Capitalism is when production came in, when entrepreneurship came in, when we started to think about things from the economic perspective. Oh yes. So with that, you know what all changes happened? Family structures changed. How you are going to introduce all what you are coming with in a Pandora's box will make them curious. So how you talk, a teacher is a storyteller, by the way, and the worst teachers are the ones who are not storytellers and children sleep in their class. That's why children say, बहुत ही boring session था यार, सो गए यार. That's because that teacher is not a good storyteller. You have to be good storytellers. Yes. Yes. Yes, Ananda. Giving them opportunity to do things by themselves and seeing other ways that thing has been done. Seeing other ways, definitely. They are doing, see, let me tell you, rural children are more equipped in doing things on their own rather than us. So when you weave such stories of something which they have not seen, that will make them imaginative. That will then give them a confidence, and your being there, talking to them, will somewhere see socially. There was another question that how would you tailor sensitization on social, gender, and economic issues? As it is, they are well aware of all the inequalities that there are in the society. Economic inequality, they are well aware of that. Social inequality, they are well aware of that. Even gender inequality. Disability inequality. They would know it better than you all, by the way. They face it every day. So you don't have to make them feel worse by telling them all these inequalities. You can make them feel better by telling them these inequalities exist and this is how you can overpower them. So you have to show them the ways through laws, through education, through opening a plethora of ideas in front of them, that this is, yes, dream big. You know, all these sensitized issues have, as it is, killed their dreams. Reality is mundane for them. Reality means getting meals every day, taking care of the house, the fields, all of that. You have to be creative to show them dreams, to make them start imagining that, yes, things are beyond this also. And I have to dream it. Once they dream it, you have to be a link between those dreams and them, who would pull their hand and tell them, this is how you have to go about it. And children, let me tell you, I'm sorry, I'm a teacher, so I have a bad habit of calling everybody children. Let me tell you that you actually have more responsibility on your own self to work on yourself so that you can be best in the field. The most important thing is empathy. There is a huge difference between empathy and sympathy, by the way. We all know that, right? So sympathy means that I say, oh yeah, you got hurt. Oh yeah, I feel bad for you. You have this issue or whatever. Empathy means when I go into the shoes of that person and then I try and analyze that person, what that person feels. You all have to open that arena of empathy. wherein you can empathize with them, you can feel for them. That can only happen when you are open to changes, when you are open to accepting that people exist who have entirely different understandings, perspectives, point of views than yours, and it is totally acceptable. Okay? Also, children, for creativity, I would like to ask you all a question. Did you have a favorite teacher when you were in school, kids? Or maybe when you were in college, or you are in college? So what? I want some of you, or whosoever wants to answer. Yes, 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 you all have that. So now please, one of you unmute who wants to speak. I want you all to speak and tell me that why did you have a favorite teacher? Why do you have a favorite person, and what did you actually want? Did you want to be like that person? Tell me, who wants to speak? I want to hear. Yes, please.
So, ma'am, currently I'm in BA program in first year. So we have in our college our political science teacher, and he is a quite aged man, and he has all these stories, as you were saying. So, like, he have his experiences, and when you study from him, political, like we are currently studying political theory, so it doesn't seem boring, and it's very interesting because he have like a story on every topic, so like you relate to the topic, because otherwise these concepts, they seems very abstract and very boring. But when we are being taught by him, it's like it's an opportunity, and it's a great experience, learning experience.
And what did you learn from this? If he became your ideal, what thought process did you have? What did you learn when he had an example on every theory? Didn't you think that yes, simpler things are better? And I should also get that knack in myself to make the toughest of things simpler. So there are people you come across, some people who make the easiest things very difficult for you. Oh, it is very tough, yeah. You will not be able to do it. You know what? It is so tough. And there are others who would tell you that, what is there in this? You can do it. Absolutely right. And it's so easy. Isn't it so? Anybody else who wants to share any experience?
I can go. So for me, I think one of my favorite teachers is my is my psychology teacher from university, and I think the reason for which she is still my favorite teacher is because she actually took interest in my life and my well-being, and she made sure that, like, any idea I'm coming up with, even if that's not like the best idea in the world, I'm heard, I'm seen, I am given importance to. So for me, I think I felt very seen, and the thing you were saying, right, like coming to my level, I think she very successfully has done it, and therefore I think she is still one of my favorite teachers, and she still is in communication with me. It has been like 8-9 years since I completed my university, and she's still there in my life every now and then. So for me, I think she really cared about me, and that's why she is one of my favorite teachers.
So again, see what happens is that when the other person came down to your level, when the other person was not operating from the point of view wherein I know it all and you have to follow whatever I say, rather than I want to know about you also. There are people who have different lives. I want to know and help you. That is why that person is your favorite. So, children, as Weber said, ideal typical situations don't exist, but yes, ideal types do. Okay, they ideal types, we cannot be in an ideal typical situation. Everybody cannot be ideal. They have their negatives or positives, but at least we can be one of them whom the others look up to. You have to be one of them as teachers. So there's a huge responsibility on your shoulders. Don't take it lightly, and love it. I'm telling you, you will just love it. So when my husband was in Udaipur, or I used to travel from DPS RKP from Delhi to Udaipur most of the holidays. There were times every train journey I remember, because I used to meet people and used to talk to them, and after 2 hours for the whole night, they used to tell me about their lives, about what all challenges they've had in their lives. And being a sociologist, I loved knowing that because I got to know about society that ways. I got to know about uh, the understanding of different people. What is it that stops them? What is it that comes as a weakness? And I realized, children, that the biggest weakness any human being has is fear. We all are scared, right? Many a times, in fact, 99% of time, when we do not take any step forward is out of fear. Because the first thing that comes to our mind is, oh, how will you do it? No, it is not possible. You have to work as alchemists with them. You have to be the alchemist to ensure that that fear is taken out from them. How will you do it? By working on your own personality, by working on your own self. So before going to the field, it is not what you have to understand how you would be telling them things. No, it is more of understanding you, your own self. If you do not have motivational stories, though I do not believe this, every person has life stories to narrate. If you do not have one, read. Read autobiographies, read motivational books, read or go do TED Talks, listen to the TED Talks, so that you are gleaming with that confidence, that energy to give it to them over there, that yes, everything is possible. Give them a dream. What does a teacher do? There are some teachers we remember, and I'm going to share. I don't know whether you, the students from DPS RKP know that girl. There was this girl by the name of Shilpi in girls' hostel. Okay, she belonged to Bihar, and she was very intelligent. However, the socialization which she had was that the parents uh, were more uh, were more loving towards son. One, two, parents came from the point of view that humanities are no subject. Subject is sciences. Other than that, there is no subject a student should study. So she took up humanities, going against the will of her parents. Now she, with her friends, had made, I am sure you must be having ideas, innovative minds. Some countries bring up these projects as innovative minds, wherein you can give your new innovative ideas, which if accepted or liked, they call you, they give you a good amount of money also, and then they take up that idea of yours and they work upon it, right? So she, along with her friend, had an innovative idea which was accepted in our country, and then from Bahrain, the king, she got an invitation from the king of Bahrain to present that innovative idea in Bahrain. Her parents were not at all accepting to send her, though the school said that we cannot do anything, you have to go from your own end. Her parents were not ready, and she could not go alone. Her father was not even ready to support her financially. You go alone, I am not supporting you because I don't believe in this. One fine sociology class in the morning, I saw her, she was very upset, very sad. I asked her, Shilpi, why are you upset? She said, ma'am, I'm very depressed. I've got this invitation. Can you come along with me, please? Because I need someone to come along with me. I said, Shilpi, I'm sorry I cannot, but I can definitely convince your parents to do that. I said, no, ma'am, nothing doing. It cannot happen. I'm telling you. I said, give me their number. I will talk to them. I spoke to her father. And can you believe it? After 3 hours, the father gives me a call from Bihar telling me that, ma'am, I've already booked my tickets from Bihar to Delhi. And tomorrow I am reaching here and I will go with my daughter. It was a shock for her. When I told her, she did not know that father called me up. When I told her that your dad called me up and he's coming tomorrow morning, she was shocked. She won that Innovative Minds Bahrain. And she totally changed the perception of her parents. Today, the other day, she spoke to me. She sent me a message on Instagram and she said, ma'am, I can never forget how things changed for me just because you put that thing in me that you will change this scenario for me. Children, you have to do that. The whole point of giving you this story or narrating the story to you is that you have to be those alchemists for those children to whom you're going to educate. You have to show them dreams. You have to be those ideals for them. You have to be beaming, gleaming. You have to be with energy, with positivity. You have to have that zeal so that they believe in you, they trust you, and they take a step forward. Okay? Tips and techniques. As I said, you have to be the alchemist. That is the only tip, the only technique. As for you all children, I understand that every time you cannot be in the positive zone. Okay? Definitely, we all also have our own lives. We all also have our own ups and downs. But the whole idea, why you're here, answers it all. We all have made in the society, we've got engineers, we've got doctors, we've got scientists. Now it's time that we give good human beings to the society. And you all are connected on that wonderful cause. You have to keep telling yourself, keep reminding yourself this, that you are here, nobody pushed you, nobody pulled you to be here. Nobody forced you that you are here. You are here for a cause because you thought that you could get a difference. Okay? You all have it in you. You will be successful people in your own lives. If you're here for a cause. Never forget that. And if you forget that, remind yourself again. See what happened during COVID. COVID is a time when we realized that yes, family is important. We can go without everything, but not without people. Right? Not without family. There was a time when people started to think, what is family? Oh, I'm a workaholic. I travel. COVID taught us a lot of good things, all thanks to COVID also. By the way, everything again has a positive and negative. Children, being a sociologist, being a teacher who would teach sociology and different aspects of society, you have to know even the worst things have a positive in it. COVID had this positive. It got us all together. Today, I, sitting in Dubai, am talking to you all. And we are so interactive here on this session. All thanks to COVID. I'm taking tuitions from India. All thanks to COVID. I am learning different things. I just learned fingerprint analysis, by the way. How your brain lobes are linked to your prints and how they make you as a person, how your personality is completely defined by the innate print. The innate nature that you have is because these prints are related to your brain lobes. How could that be possible? Because of COVID. So the positive that COVID has given is that we've understood we cannot stay without people. We got connected. So every time when you feel that, what am I doing? Why am I here? That zeal, you have to be always booming with energy. You know, children, when we as teachers go to a classroom, and let me tell you, I know every individual is different, but to be a successful teacher, I have my own lows, I have my own problems. I am married, by the way, and that tells you how many problems you have when you're married and you have kids. But the moment you enter a classroom, before that, right in front of the door, you have to change your expressions. Okay, I am there. Those 40 children sitting in the classroom will be looking up to me. And the way I enter a classroom, the energies that I enter the classroom with are the energies I'm giving to those 40 people. Sorry, I cannot give the negative energies. I have to always be positive. So there was this little video I saw wherein there was this Chinese teacher, and he's very sad. There's some problem with his own personal life. And the moment he's standing in front of his classroom, he stops himself, he looks up, he smiles, his personality changes, and then he enters the classroom. That is how you would be entering your field. So start working upon yourself. Most importantly, before going to the field, that's your homework. Everything in this world is possible. You know, the only word impossible is to stop dreaming. For you all also. Just dream it big. And that fear that comes in mind when you have that dream, kaise hoga? Shut up. Hoga. I don't know kaise hoga. Karna hai. I have to do it. Stop that fear. Fear is like shadow, children. Fear is exactly like shadow. Shadow should always be behind you. Fear should always be behind you. Slowly and steadily, what happens is when you start questioning your abilities, that fear starts coming like this in front of you and starts questioning you. Every time you have to train your mind to tell the fear, shut up, go back. I know how I'm going to do it. Then the fear will tell you, ask you another question. How will you do it? Okay, tell me. So you have to fight your own demons. I don't know right now. Maybe I research. I'm going to do it. I know this and I'm not getting scared. Very important. Any questions that you would want to ask me, children? You always have to be a learner in your life. Always. A person who is a learner all through his or her life is the one who becomes a bard. Do you know who's a bard? A bard is a person who has so many experiences by the time he or she reaches 90 or 85 years that when you go to a bard and you say, you know what, I'm thinking that I will do this. And he says, okay, you do this. But you know, when you were going to be at this age of your life, you will face this. So just be aware. It's going to be absolutely fine. That's when you are open to all such things in your life. Just don't limit yourself ever. And go there with this mind that you have to learn what all strengths do they have in their lives. I also want to learn something from them. I also want to incorporate in my personality what all they have. So it's a two-way process. I'm also learning. I'm also developing my personality by maybe observing them and learning a lot of things which I feel I also don't have. Any other questions that you would want to ask me?
I have a question, ma'am,
Yes.
and I'm Ananda, and thank you so much for this opportunity. So, how, as a teacher, we can use our legitimate power in the classroom?
How, as a teacher, we can heal?
We can use our legitimacy power in the classroom.
What do you mean by legitimate power when you talk about
That means
legitimate?
okay, so as a teacher, that we have some power that we use it sometimes in favor of a student, sometimes against of the student. So,
See, very, very good question. I understand. First of all, a teacher, I think I missed out on that. You totally have to be unbiased. So when we talk about empathetic understanding, Verstehen approach, which Weber said, Weber talked about Verstehen approach, which means that if someone is doing something, he or she has a reason for that. Legitimate power nowhere means that I control you by force. Legitimate power means in today's time, you all are youth. How many times have you followed your parents when they have tried to control you or tell you, no, you're not supposed to do this, yes, you're supposed to do this? On the contrary, certain parents, when they tell you that this is your life, this is what is going to happen if you do this, I am here to support you if you do anything wrong. Have trust in me, faith in me. Whenever you do anything wrong, let me know and I'm going to show you the way. Don't you think all children crave for such parents? The ones who don't have. Similarly, beta, all students crave for such teachers. Mistakes are a part of life. We also do. How many times at the age of I'm 41, I also do commit mistakes. Everybody commits mistakes. It's a part of life. But legitimate power nowhere means that I control the person. I can show the person what is correct, what is incorrect. Definitely students will have questions. Ma'am, but how can you say, or sir, how can you say that this is correct? because there are certain rules, social control. There are certain rules. Sun has not started to rise from west; it still rises from east. Nature is the biggest example. So you should know how to answer their questions in a way wherein you are opening their horizons rather than using your controlling power. Nothing gets controlled, let me tell you. And especially when it comes to a teacher-taught relationship or a parent-child relationship. You can tell a child what is right or wrong for the child. You cannot control. The child will hide things from you, lie, and do it at your back.
Thank you, ma'am.
Is there anything else? Is that what you wanted to ask or
Yes.
anything else?
So one of the subject of mine is called context of education. It's a subject of after degree of education program. So one of our example is that two women in a classroom, one is headmistress and one is a teacher. The headmistress uses her legitimate power to very worstly, and the teacher, she is very calm and quiet. But the teacher cannot do anything because she is headmistress, and the teacher is under the headmistress. So therefore, the group of the student, they divide, and some students like the headmistress, and some students like the teacher. But finally, the teacher get on over the headmistress. That's why I ask the legitimate power here.
In this world, everybody needs love, and love is the only language. And let me tell you, children, something which love cannot heal, nothing else can heal. Always remember that. Always remember that. So biasness and teachers don't go get along well. Unfortunately, I think it's time that we start giving sessions to teachers as well to be unbiased. Because biasness leads to favoritism. Favoritism leads to a lot of children being ignored in the classroom. And second, definitely control doesn't work. I can shout on one person, I can scare one person one time, 2 times, 3 times, 10 times. Ultimately, 11th time, the person will stop getting scared from me. It's not scare. It's making the individual understand what is correct and incorrect. Any other question?
Guys, feel free to ask any questions, and if you can turn on your microphones, you can also type it there in the section. You have this amazing opportunity. Yes. Yes, Arijit.
Sure, thank you. So I'm not sure if this is the right stage to ask this, but one thing that crossed my mind was that if we teach sociology to students, and something that I put on chat as well, if we teach sociology to students, it is certain that their mindset will become all the more inclusive when they are learning in class. However, at times, not in all families, but at times when students go back to their families, they may see that some or the other bias is being promoted indirectly. As in, parents may not say directly, but in their behavior or in their conversation, it reflects. And at that tender age, when they do not know what is the right or what is the wrong thing, they may get confused between what the teacher is teaching and what their parents are indirectly advocating in the home. So have you observed any such thing happening with your students, or if you have found any way where you have helped somebody in this regard?
Of course, Peter, many a times. Students in sociology class tell us that, ma'am, can you please counsel our parents as well? Because they do not understand things from this angle. But the point is, again, being a sociologist, you also have to understand how to convince people. So I totally get what you're saying. Many a times, parents used to come in PTM and tell me that, ma'am, since my child has taken up sociology, that child has started to ask me in so many questions, why this? But then don't you think it can happen this way? As I said, it is not always fighting for a cause. It is at times just staying there and making the other person understand. I'll give you a little example of what I faced My family was very open-minded. My father and myself, my father was my own teacher of mathematics in 11th and 12th, and a very open-minded, broad-minded teacher. But I belonging to a typical Brahmin family, so all the morning and evening prayers. So the cotton wick which was used for the diya in the morning and evening, my mother had a habit of keeping those, and we had big poly bags and then wadding it off in the water. So when I went back in my graduation, I asked her, obviously, started to understand Yamuna cleaning projects and all of that. That, Mama, why are you doing this? So she said, no, 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 don't touch that. I said, no, we'll throw it in the dustbin. She said, no, don't touch that. I have done puja, and then after that, that wick, I cannot throw it in the dustbin. So I said, okay, Mama, then see, the point is that we cannot dirty the river. Let's put it under a tree. It will become humus. No, but then that is for prayers. I've used it. I said, okay, Mama, see how things work, how it turns into humus. But when we put it into water, it pollutes it. It's a teeny weeny bit example, children. If your parents are using Android phones, if your parents are open to use WhatsApp calls, right? They are also open to everything which is told to them with logic. First and foremost, I never believed in generation gap. I never do that. I've had immense discussions on this in my sociology classes, and I always tell my students that as sociology students, I do not believe that you follow or you adhere to generation gap. What is generation gap? Today's time, the people who are technologically advanced are using Android phones, Apple phones. They should not be using it, by the way. They're using WhatsApp, they're using all sorts of different things. So where I'm able to accept things, their generation gap does not come. Where I do not want a paradigm shift, generation gap comes. Isn't it so? So the same parent who is using WhatsApp, who's got his friends and who's sharing in his friends group all sorts of messages at age appropriate and all of that, suddenly becomes very closed-minded when it comes to his child upon certain things. Again, that is a matter of choice. That is a matter of ego. I can definitely work upon it by communication. Communication is the mantra, children, by the way. Another thing which is very important. Never stop communicating. So what happens usually is if I'm not getting along with someone, I stop communicating. The first thing which happens, right? We stop talking to the person. Why? Communication is the mantra. So if you are at loggerheads with your family people, don't fight, communicate. And in your communication, mass communication as it has done things easier for us. Try and communicate things to them with examples. You have to research. You have to come up with those examples and talk to them in a way that you are able to communicate it to them. My mother never wanted me to join JNU. You know that? My father was an open-minded man. I was doing English honors in Daulatram. She was totally against me joining JNU. That was in I joined JNU in 2000. She said, I am not going to let you go to JNU. You clear your Delhi School of Economics exam. You be there. I'm telling you what all she did to make, I had to plead to her, beg to her that please let me go to the university. So what all promises she took from me, I'm going to tell you. I was a total tomboy child. I was told, can you please? I was told that you are only going to wear suits. And anything for JNU I was ready to do. You are not going to leave your hostel. I'm going to call you up 6:30. You have to be. We never had mobile phones at that time. We had a common phone of the hostel. So we are going to give you a call. You have to be in the hostel. I said, done, ma'am. Mama, anything for JNU. Then she used to call me up. I don't like the university. I know you will change. All those 2 years, by the way, a tomboy like me, my friends of JNU know me as a girl, very docile, very calm girl, totally quiet. She told me, you will never involve yourself into JNU politics. I said, okay, mom, I will not do that. But then after 6 months, I told her, Mama, come and stay with me. And when she came and stayed with me, that was the time when I told her, see, Mama, it is all about individuals. what I choose in my life, people understand. We get impatient. And as sociologists, as people who are working for the benefit of the society, you do not have to be impatient. Stand by what you said. I said we all agree to disagree. Definitely that child will go back home and will have different kind of a scenario at home, which is not the same. But the child does not have to be depressed, has to understand that there is a gap and I am being chosen to bridge the gap. If I start fighting, if I start arguing with my family, my relationship with those people will be spoiled, and they are the ones who are my rock. Have you seen a well, children? Kuan, we call it in Hindi. Have you all seen a well? Okay. When we take out water from the well, there is a bucket, and bucket is attached to a rope, right? Rassi. After a couple of years, what you will see, well has stones walls. You will see that rope has made its imprint on that wall, and that brick has actually taken shape of the rope. Yes or no? Yes. A very soft thing like rope could actually work on the rock by rubbing it, and it made its shape. This is what we have to believe in. If I believe that whatever I'm thinking is correct, then I should have all the ability in my persona to ensure that how I convince people whom I love. They are my family. I cannot leave them. I cannot stay without them. Definitely, I have to get them from darkness towards light. It is a work. It is a responsibility, but trust me, it happens. And people do change. And in today's time, it's more easy. It's very easy than what it used to be. So I have definitely encountered such students, and then their parents, accepting they're doing so well, they are too good in their academics, every which wise they have a question. I understand there are families wherein children are not allowed to question. But then over a period of time, everything changes, no? Change is the only constant. We have to be that change. We have to accept that we have to be that change, but peacefully. And communication is the mantra, children. Never stop communicating. So if I don't get along with my dad, or if I do not get along with a particular family member because their mentality is different from me, I cannot stop communicating with them. Please work upon yourselves. Sociology first says that I have to be empathetic, I have to be unbiased, I have to be the change, I have to have a paradigm shift, I have to be open to each and everything that comes in front of me without having my biases attached. And over a period of time, you will realize that your personality changes and you become like a magnet. People start believing in what you say. People start following you. People don't, there are people, I had a boss, she was from Assam. She once told me that, Aishwarya, people don't leave me. I said, really? How and why? She said, yes, that's it. And then I started observing what kind of a person she was. Very loving person. She used to stand by what she said, but then her way of dealing with things was entirely different. Children, here spirituality also works wonders. See, unfortunately in India, in fact, spirituality is something which is everywhere in the world. You talk about Africa, African spirituality is, you should read about African spirituality, by the way. It is something which we used to follow, nature. Be close to nature. Everything is nature, and you learn everything from nature, right? When we talk about Karl Marx's alienation, what is Marx saying? 4 sorts of alienation when he talks about that you get alienated from nature. The first thing which happens in a capitalist society. Earlier, home was home. Today, home is a kind of a hotel where I leave home in the morning and I come at night. And over the weekends also, I don't want to stay in the house. I would go out and enjoy. Over a period of time, I've stopped having walks in nature. I've stopped going to parks. I've stopped being around nature because I don't have time. First, alienation. Second is alienation with people around you. I am so busy with my own self. I do not have time to communicate. It's only a couple of friends or maybe a lot of people on social media, but hardly anyone. I mean, I would not ask the person sitting next to me, how is he feeling? But definitely I'm going to talk about all sorts of feelings on social media. Feeling may. Alienation. Third, alienation from my own work. Earlier, people used to be creative. Now we are in a situation where we are a cog in a wheel. We are specialized for small little things. So to make it as a product, we have to be dependent on each other. And that work becomes monotonous, children. In order to break that monotony of life, you have to do something which is always getting you attached to nature, to creativity, to people. That is what you all are doing, no? Voluntary. That again breaks that shell of alienation. And the fourth is, if this alienation keeps happening, we get alienated from our own selves. We don't want to sit with our own self for even 1 minute. Suddenly we'll pick up a phone, or we'll open up a laptop, or we'll open the television, because we get alienated from ourselves. That's the reason why psychology is booming in today's time. Clinical psychologists and all psychological problems. Japan, by the way, understood what is alienation and how we have to be connected to nature. You know what Japan has done? Big MNCs of Japan, for each employee, they have given an employee a particular area, say about an area like a table, normal teacher's table. That is my area. I take break, I go down in that greenhouse and I plow maybe seeds for fruit, for flower. Every break I go and I nurture that area. And whatever fruit or vegetable comes out of that area goes to the kitchen, and the lunch that they are served is out of that only. What is happening? What are they doing? They are again getting people connected to nature. Why? Because creativity ends when you stop getting connected with nature. So trust me, you are also going to be all the more creative when you go to get connected with nature. Very important. Yes, communication decreases. Yes. Yes. And what about the students who constantly test our patience, disturb the atmosphere? You know what? The students who constantly disturb you are actually asking for love. They are not being loved. They are always taken in a negative way. They are actually the victims of piousness of teachers, of people. Give them love, they'll be absolutely fine. I'm telling you, tried and tested. And they will be the ones who will sit, pin drop silence and ensure that nobody speaks in your class. Tried and tested. Yes, they ask for it in the most unloving way. And you know what? It'll just be a couple of days. They will try and show you the ego. So when I used to go to Amity, Amity University, coming in the students who come in masters are like taller than me. And typical Haryanvi Jat boys and all of that, that kind of an attitude. But it's absolutely, they're the most soft people. You just have to know as a teacher how to deal with them. Very important, very important. They will ask for it. They basically want to divert your attention. They want to do everything possible so that they irritate you, because they know that everybody calls them an irritable person. Once you stop doing that, they will stop irritating you. They will love you more than you love them, by the way. And they will tell you, they will come up to you and they will tell you that what all they faced. Am I missing on to any question? Sorry. Yes, positive farming. Is there any question that I'm missing on to? Can you please check? How do we communicate? How to find topics of common interest, Aditya? Very important. Let the other person speak. Be a listener. Very important. Everybody wants a ear. You know that? Everybody in this world. They want people to hear them out. We don't have time. If you're staying in a hostel and your mom calls you up, she just wants, when she cribs, you know what, this happened, and mama, okay, I'm keeping her on the phone. She does not want any solution. She knows she's facing it all by herself every day. She just wants you to hear her out. I'm just giving a small little example. It works everywhere. At times, you don't want an answer, no, every time. And communication, best, let the other person speak. Start hearing. The other person will start opening up. And every time that person will feel lost, will come up to you. I want you to listen to me. That's the best part. And then you start communicating. You know, you are a teacher. You know that is the breaking of the ice. And then you have different topics of communication, isn't it? Yes, Ananda, you wanted to ask something?
Yes, thank you, ma'am. So yeah, communication is really important. I would say some examples that I'm from Canada, living in Edmonton, Alberta. So I am working 4 places right now: in school, in a child development center, Walmart Canada, and Forces Canada. So I have a 4 different boss. Thank you. I have a 4 different boss. In school and forces, like in Canadian Army, completely different. In school, I have not been like directed that I shouldn't talk anything about weapons or anything else to the children, to the kids, because this is not appropriate in school environment. And when I go to the army, you know that it is all weaponries and all these things. But however, that it is also mindful for me that I have to be very careful what I'm talking about in school with my boss and kids, and also what I'm talking about in my boss in army, because army is so disciplined and so strict about. And also in Walmart Canada, it's completely a retail organization. I'm also very much careful that what I'm talking about with my boss in Walmart Canada in retail, not like a school environment like teaching, or not like an army in the Walmart Canada. It is a production, something like that. So these are the things that I communicate with my boss in different ways, in different modes. And I told you that I always communicate with my boss. This is how I make myself a tremendously nicest person in the entire, because it's a troublesome, always a troublesome, especially the Walmart Canada, one of the billionaire company in the world. Like if you are not communicate with your boss, then the trouble will be coming anyhow, anyway. So this is why I think the communication is most important things to be like to make you a safe in the working environment.
Ananda, all the more because you must have noticed that working in different areas and different sectors, this must have worked wonders on your personality. If you look back to what you were and to what you are, I'm sure your personality has enhanced. You know how to deal people in a much better way now, isn't it so?
Yes.
See, that is the communication power. The more people you meet, actually, it's magic, it's mystic. The more people you meet, the more uh, amazing your personality becomes. But then meeting people means with an open heart and mind, with an
Yeah.
acceptable heart and mind. Very important. There are 2 ways of living life, children. One is to crib, cry, crib all the time. We all have challenges. All the time we have challenges in our life. And the other way is, this is there. No, it's absolutely fine. I'm going to find out a way. I'm not going to cry. So either I can cry or I can just find a solution and be happy. I'd rather be happy. Situation is the same. But my way of dealing with it changes the complete understanding of that scenario and my personality. Nobody wants to be around people who are always crying, isn't it so? Yes or no?
Yes.
So why should we be like that? As teachers, we should always be happy. And every problem, trust me, children, every problem in this world has a solution. Just be happy. That's important.
Yes,
So
thank you,
I
ma'am.
think you're welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. It was so wonderful to meet you all from different places and to interact. Thank you so much. And I would love to be a part of P6 because it's started by my own students of DPS RKP. I would love to work voluntarily for you all whenever you need me, whatever services I can provide. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for having this session today. There were a few more questions, but I guess we have exceeded the time as well. It has been about
Oh,
more
that's
than
okay.
1 hour.
No, that's okay. You can ask me a question. If it's important, we can definitely answer.
So I would say that let's have one final question. I guess Ria was raising hand from quite some time. So yeah, Ria, go ahead. Sorry, Anwar, I won't be able to take your question for now because we would have to end this session because we have another one lined up after this, some other session. So Ria, please go ahead.
Good evening, ma'am.
Hi, good evening.
Ma'am, my question to you is, since we'll be talking to children who are from rural backgrounds, and so we'll be obviously we'll be telling them things that they should imagine different environments. They can get a lot of opportunities. They should dream big, and all. But when they'll go home, their dreams would be crushed. Their parents would say, "No, you cannot do this. You cannot do that." Not only rural people, it also happens with us. So there'll be times when they would stop listening to what I'm saying and they would not be interested in listening to me because it would seem very unrealistic to them because their parents won't allow them, so they would stop, just not listen to me, and would become disinterested. So what should be done in this kind of a situation?
Good question. You know, when I was in JNU, I had different people from different different parts of my country and Asia as well. So while taking my 6:15 bus once in the morning, 615 bus is the bus which goes inside JNU, I saw this boy who was wearing slippers in his hands and was crawling. And he came running, crawling. I mean, crawling, and he was running in that, speeding up the crawling, and with his bag at his back. Bus stopped. He elated the bus, and he sat in the bus. I was shocked. I got to know that he was studying literature. Belongs to Orissa, a typical rural, totally. What should I say? I mean, a household where his parents stay in a thatched roof. But because he had dreams, he found the way to fulfill them. I'm just giving you one example, sweetheart. You go to JNU, you will find thousands such examples there. Students coming from totally, lowest of economic backgrounds. The only one thing that kept them going was their dream that I'm going to do it. And they have made to become professors of different universities. They were the ones. I totally agree and accept to what all you are saying, sweetheart. But when you see such people, what all they have conquered, not just people around them, their own physical disabilities, that gives you that strength and energy. And for you, I totally agree. I told you my example. My mother was not ready. How easy I'm saying it today was not that easy at that time, back then. It was very tough. Very tough. And second was when I was unmarried, I was teaching in Jamia Millia Islamia in the Faculty of Law. She never wanted me to teach in Jamia. Can you imagine? It was not easy. You have to stand strong. You have to research. And how do you stand strong? By researching. So when you don't have that power, you are not empowered economically. You have to research and believe in your dreams. And let them know. No parent wants their child to not succeed. Tell them, give me only one mauka. And if that I lose, I agree to whatever you're saying. And if you have it in you, trust me, you will show it. Have you seen those small little plants coming out of rock? Start looking at nature. Start observing nature. Nature will tell you, do not say that it is not possible. I'm telling you, when I saw such students, Ram Babu, we just lost him. He was a blind student from JNU, went up to become an IFS officer. And belonging to a rural background, his parents were farmers. No education, nothing, blind from JNU. I'm telling you, all such things should get that energy in you that yes, I can do it. If those people could do it, I can also do it. और अपनी success story सुनानी है ना? Huh? Or this story that, yeah, I was doing my graduation here and then this and then that, and then I got married and then I had children and then I earned this money. Oh, where do the success stories come from? Challenges. Talk to Varun, talk to these P6 people. Tell me, was life that easy for you all? 2-3 years down the lane, when they're going to talk about their success stories, it did not start that easy, right? Nothing in the world comes easy, sweetheart. Nothing. But trust me, when you research, when you have that positive attitude, and when you give it to the nature that, yes, I'm going to do it no matter what, trust me, it happens. Magic happens, magic. And no, somebody asked me that, do I still teach in DPS RKP? No, I'm teaching in DPS, but in Sharjah now. So I teach in DPS Sharjah.
Well, I think this will be a great moment for us to conclude with the session. Thank you so much, ma'am, for this insightful session. We generally got to know so much better about how to perceive things more than actually go into that actual word. But this particular idea which we will carry after this session, I think that will be way more beneficial than actually going into this one specific topic and exploring that. But how to actually look at things, change that outlook, I would say. Like, this was one quote I read recently, like probably of one movie only. I'm not able to recall which movie exactly, but we all try to expand our horizon at how we perceive things, looking at world through a keyhole. And if we are able to say expand this particular keyhole of how we are seeing this world and open that door somehow, the world becomes infinite at
Then
that.
I just want to add on to one thing, sweet, to
Sure,
all
sure.
of you. Last learning. Always stretch yourself 5% more every time. In any situation when you're about to give up, don't give up at that time. Stretch yourself more, just 5% more. Just stretch yourself 5% more every time. So when situations are such that you're about to give up, no, ye nahi hoga, it will not happen. Wait, it will happen. When you're exercising and when your body says, oh, I'm breaking now, no, another 5 minutes more. You know, after 6 minutes, 6 months, those 5 minutes of stretching will make you much more stronger person. I'm sorry, I missed out on that point. I had written it. Always ensure that you stretch yourself. And never come in your comfort zone, children. I, at the age of 41, am not. The day you all come in your comfort zone, remember you will start stagnating. Everybody loves a comfort zone. Bas ab ho gaya, I have a job, children. No, there is something else. Another challenge, another mountain for you all to climb and conquer.